Hello, folks, and welcome to another NFL preseason breakdown or preseason preview video. I'm JPeeps with the man with
And
me
I'm
over.
Ace.
That's right. And today we are talking AFC East, which is a fun but a very boring division, interestingly enough.
It had a lot of question marks on it with a lot of new people in it and a lot of old big names out of it. Let's just leave it like that.
Yes. Hopefully this goes better than the AFC West video where we got told we don't know nothing and we're idiots.
Even though we literally had them winning the division, but okay.
Yeah, I know, really. That's the funny part. But anyway, regardless of what people with one follower may think, which we don't give those people the time of day, let's go dive right into it. So, with that being said, first team on the list, they finished last in the division at a record of 4-13 and are a shell of their former selves, the New England Patriots. So they hire head coach Jared May.
I said big old head name gone. That's just how you summarize the New England Patriots.
Yeah, it's crazy. I never thought I'd live to see the day.
Who thought we would have got Bill Belichick retirement before GTA 6?
We got a lot of things before GTA 6, which this is one of them. So they added head coach Jared Mayo, Austin Hooper, Antonio Gibson. They lost J.C. Jackson, Malcolm Butler, Devontae Parker, Mac Jones. They drafted Drake May.
You can argue for all those departures, addition by subtraction.
Yes. They also they added they drafted Drake May, Jalen Polk, Caden Wallace, and Javon Baker, and also they also brought in Terrell Jennings out of FAMU. So right out the gate, I guess we can go with it. What can we expect in life after Belichick?
I'm gonna say this: if their future looks better now than what it did last year. You know what I mean? It kind of it's similar to, how do I say this, right? I'd say they're in a better spot than the Saints were after Sean Payton.
You think so?
Yeah, I think with the way how their season ended, right? Positioning themselves third overall pick. You hire in-house, same as them, with Jerod Mayo. But you also have that pick where you can go and help center your franchise around a guy with Drake May. And then you go get him his wide receiver 1 and Jalen Polk in the second round. Get him his wide receiver 2 in the fourth round of Javon Baker. You have your RB1 already. You have already more or less tried to solidify your offensive line. And your defense is pretty good. And you have all your picks for the next foreseeable future. It's not like you have your picks invested in some really bad trades or taking guys really early in the draft who don't look like they're going to be in the NFL next year. So with life after Belichick, it's like all Jerod Mayo got to do, keep doing what he was doing, not what Bill Belichick was doing, but like what he was doing. He just has to continue growing with that, and they should be fine, I think.
It's a fair statement. Speaking of draft picks, are you buying or selling Drake May?
I don't think he starts week 1. I think we're going to see Jacoby Brissett number week 1. I mean, I think he's going to sit for a couple of weeks.
The funny thing is I've heard that Joe Milton has been out playing like all the quarterbacks. Like he's been outperforming all of them. Just what I've been hearing.
I know, but it's like Joe Milton, when you watch him at Tennessee, right? He's that big, flashy guy who could launch at 70 yards, but he can't hit a simple out route.
That's a fair take. That is a very fair take. Because he does have a cannon. So it's
kind of like you can hit all those fancy throws if you want in training camp where the defense isn't actually playing hard coverage on you and the field hasn't got shrank yet. But once we see preseason come around, we're going to see both of them have their growing pains, but also with Drake May is like, he has an ability to read and process that field quick, and he can hit the short and intermediate throws, as we've seen in North Carolina compared to Joe Milton, where you're like, yeesh, like what is bro doing, kind of thing. So it's more like Drake May. I don't think he's a polished prospect to start week 1 at this point, based on what we've seen in training camp and mini camp. So it's like Jacoby Brissett, he's a good backup. He's been in the league a long time. He literally started with the Patriots. His first NFL start was with the Patriots, coming back to where it all started after the Deflategate. We all know how that went. Coming back now, they thought he was going to be the franchise guy. Now he's just getting ready for the next franchise guy to take over. I think he'll be a good vet for them and get them where it's like sit, learn, grow, come in a couple of weeks and cook.
I feel that. Now, the expectations for Gerard Mayo in year 1, it's actually funny. Someone actually came out with a list of the worst coaches in the NFL coming into this season. It's funny that most of them are. I was like, most of them haven't even coached a single game. I mean, funny enough, Dennis Allen was
number 1.
It was Dennis Allen.
But we're not focusing on that. We're sticking with the Patriots.
But it's like I look at it and I see Gerard Mayo on there along with like Dave Canales and Mike McDaniels and everything, and I'm just like, none of these guys have coached a game as a head coach yet. Like, how are we going to throw Gerard Mayo in there in 1 year and he hasn't even coached a single game yet, let alone a single preseason game yet, or even a joint practice yet? Like, come on.
Pretty much.
I'm like, are we being serious right now? Like, dude, come on. You gotta stop this.
I feel like if there's a team that's gonna have the DeMeco Ryans impact on like a franchise, it would probably be Gerard Mayo, like as a new head coach, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know how DeMeco comes in and like revitalizes Houston after what happened at the end of the Bill O'Brien era with Deshaun Cosby, and that franchise was like stuck in the mud for a solid 2-3 years. I feel like we're gonna see now Gerard Mayo. He's coming in back into New England. He's gonna be like, all right, let's get this back to what it was before those 2 to 3 years Brady was gone, and it's just been stagnant hell for the Patriots since Josh McDaniels left Mac Jones high and dry.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I'm a guy.
Yeah, because you had it, and it's like the Patriots were trying. I believe it was actually Bill O'Brien as offensive coordinator for a minute there. There was some really bad offensive coordinator stuff they had with Mac Jones. I think it was Bill O'Brien before he went to Alabama for a minute there, and it just didn't work. And it's like Mac Jones' development got shot to hell. And I think Drake May, he's younger, more talented, and has a higher upside than Mac Jones will ever have had. So for them to trade him to Jacksonville is like kind of a no-brainer situation for them.
Right.
Even though Mac Jones has no guaranteed shot to starting in Jacksonville unless Trevor Lawrence gets injured.
It's another fair take. Yeah. Makes sense.
But for Gerard Mayo, revitalize him, get it going. They'll make noise. I don't think this year, but in the next couple of years, they'll be back.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I hope Robert Kraft doesn't fire him after 1 year and doesn't do him dirty.
Oh no.
I hope not. But with that, we are now going to shift gears over to the next team on the list. Last year, they went 7-10, and their quarterback played literally 10 seconds, and then it was over. The New York Jets. So this year they added Mike Williams, Tyrod Taylor. The departures were Zach Wilson. Tyron Smith. They lost Zach Wilson. Randall Cobb retires and now works for the SEC Network. Sheldon Rankins retired.
Whitehead. No, yeah. Sheldon Rankins went to Cincinnati.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, Sheldon Rankins gone to Cincinnati. Dalvin Cook, CJ Uzomah.
I don't know where they are.
Wait, what?
I don't know where. I think those two are still free agents. Don't worry about that.
Oh. Jordan Travis drafted Isaiah Davis and
Olumio, Fashanu, and Malachi Corley.
There you go. Good usage.
I didn't butcher the pronunciation too bad, I hope.
Good way to pronounce that. You did better than me.
Big dog from Penn State. I did like him coming out in the draft, so I think for him that's big help for Aaron Rodgers' protection. Let's hit that first question before we keep it going with them.
Yeah. What can we expect from Aaron Rodgers coming back from the Achilles injury? Honestly, dude, this team goes as Aaron Rodgers will go. I'm gonna say that. Mm-hmm. If he underperforms or if he gets hurt again, Robert Saleh will live up to the honestly, and Robert Saleh was named as one of those top 10.
Gone.
Yeah. He was actually named to that list of coaches who were some of the top worst coaches in the league currently coming into the season. And quite honestly, if Aaron Rodgers is not up to par, Robert Saleh will be right up there with Dennis Allen if his team falls short and will be fired, I think. So it's vital for Aaron Rodgers to have a big year this year.
I will say when you look at the Jets, right? So their receiving room is currently Garrett Wilson, Malachi Corley, Mike Williams, who's coming off a torn ACL, and that's pretty much it. Alden Lazard is still there too, but it's like that is basically right now currently Garrett Wilson and a bunch of nobodies. No offense to Malachi Corley, who could potentially be good. It's just there's not much upside in that receiving room at the moment because like Mike Williams, he'll have 4 good games and get hurt. That's his whole career story been so far. So it's like you can't really rely on him to be a big part of your offense. Now I want to see if they include their tight end from last year that they drafted, Jeremy Ruckert, I believe it was, from Ohio State. I want to see if they involve him in the offense maybe more. Get more touches in the tight end position, even though Aaron Rodgers really hasn't been much of a guy to throw it to tight ends a whole lot. I mean, he had that little bit with Jared Cook. I hate saying his name.
Oh, and Richard
Rodgers. And Richard Rodgers for a minute there. Other than that, he's not been a big tight end guy for his offenses. So when you look at that, you're like, do the Jets go and make a big splash move for Devontae maybe during the season? If the Brandon Ayuk stuff doesn't get settled. I don't know how the cap would work on that, but like I could see them trying to go get another guy in the building just to push all the tables on there for Aaron Rodgers.
I would not doubt it.
But from Aaron Rodgers, it's like I'd see him if he's healthy and he plays all 17 games, probably definitely 4,000 yards, over 4,000 yards, like 20-something, 30-something touchdowns, probably easy.
Yeah. Actually, that brings us to the next one. How do they stack up against the rest of the AFC's top teams? Honestly, let's be real. Do you if this team runs in, say they win their division, they make the playoffs? Do you see this team matching up well against a Houston, against a Kansas City, or against a Baltimore, or even a Pittsburgh?
I would say this, right? So New York last year had a good defense. They did. But then they did lose some pieces. Like Jordan Whitehead isn't there no more. Sheldon Rankins isn't there no more. You're kind of looking at it as like, can you keep that up again? Because like when they played Kansas City, right, it was earlier in the season. Zach Wilson was already playing, and Zach Wilson was giving the Chiefs some trouble there because the defense was making life hell for Mahomes because they're one of the few teams they can get pressure with just 4. They got Jermaine Johnson, they got Keenan Williams. I mean, they did bring in Hassan Reddick, but he's been. Who knows what the hell's going on with him? You got CJ Mosley in the linebacking unit. It's not like you got scrubs. You got dogs on that secondary with Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the defense can give teams trouble, but when you stack them up against the rest of the AFC top teams like Houston, Kansas City, who's coming back now with more speed with Marquise Brown and Xavier Worthy, you're like,
yeah,
I wouldn't take them against Houston, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Kansas City. Those 4 are like a different tier than the Jets. I would have the Jets this season currently in the same tier, like of a question mark wild card as like the Chargers or
The Browns.
Browns. Yeah, like Miami's in the top tier with the others I've just mentioned. It's like those 5,
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, they're making the playoffs. Miami's like, they got to stay healthy. If Miami stays healthy, they're going to be a top 4 seed for sure. They're winning their division.
Oh, 100%.
But like
Don't fall
that's
for
spoiled for this video. But we haven't got to the Dolphins yet. But yeah, it's kind of like the Jets. I can see them as a wild card team. They can make noise. I could see them upsetting a team though. Like not impossible, but I don't see them regular season wise going in saying, "All right, we're gonna win our division and be a top 4 seed in the AFC." They're gonna have a real playoff game. But Aaron Rodgers, I can see Aaron Rodgers sneaking a playoff win against somebody if he's healthy.
I guess that kind of cancels out the question of, is this team a AFC dark horse?
Oh wow, yeah, I can say they're a dark horse if they're all healthy and everything clicks.
Fair. And that brings us now to, ironically, the next team on the list who basically tied
just mentioned
at the top. Yeah, just got mentioned. They finished 11-6 and basically blew their chance at winning the division title, and then went to Kansas and blew their chance at hosting a home game, and then had to go to Kansas City and played in barren cold weather, and that's the reason why they lost. The Miami Dolphins.
The Flippers.
The Flipper. Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna do that. They added OBJ, they added Jordan Poyer, Jordan Brooks, Kendall Fuller, Benito Jones. They lost Xavier Howard, Christian Wilkins, Andrew Van Ginkel, Robert Hunt. They drafted Chop Robinson, Malik Washington, Patrick McMorris, Taj Washington, and Muhammad Kamara.
And Jalen Wright.
Yes. So right out the gate, will they finally get over the hump for a division title? This team was on the doorstep of it and fell flat on their face. Prime example, they didn't beat Buffalo when it mattered most, and they blew a primetime game against Will Levis in Tennessee, losing by 1 point.
I will say this. They will get over the hump, but because not because of themselves. I would say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It won't be because of the Dolphins. It'll be more so because the Bills, due to salary cap reasons, got worse.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Like you just paid to an abhorrent amount of money. That frankly was a massive overpay.
Yes.
And you're like, you're basically banking everything onto it to win a playoff game and take you guys far. With Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, whose extension is coming up next year. It's a risky gamble. Raheem Mostert hasn't been the most healthiest guy when he needs to be. You do have Devon A-Chain, who also hasn't been the most healthiest guy when he needs to be.
Yeah.
You're hoping Jalen Wright can help make that a three-headed running back room. But then on the defense side, Xavier Howard, we know he's not there no more. I'm not going to get into the details of him. You got Jalen Ramsey, who he has his moments, but he's not the same Jalen Ramsey that was with the Rams or the Jaguars.
He hasn't been the same since like Mike Evans and like what was that? Jamar Chase cooked him.
Jamar Chase had him saying Harambe forever, and then he dove for Jamar Chase, but then he got bailed out that Aaron Donald sacked Joe Burrow. Gave Joe Burrow one more second. The Bengals won that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase cooked his ass so bad in the Super Bowl. Anyways, off topic. Back to the Dolphins. Jalen Ramsey's not that great. He has his own question marks. You did bring in Kendall Fuller to help solidify the secondary a little bit more. You're banking on some of the younger guys on the roster currently to develop a little bit better. I mean, Jordan Brooks, he was pretty solid in Seattle until Bobby Wagner came back and then kind of disappeared again. But he was good before Bobby Wagner came back. So you're hoping he helps fill up the hole that Jerome Baker had. Now the biggest question is who's filling up the void that Christian Wilkins left. I mean, they have Bradley Chubb, they have Jalen Phillips, both of whom are coming off massive injuries. And Chop Robinson should help the pass rush get better, but like to get over a hump for a division title, it's not because of them, more so because like the defense has a lot of question marks. The offense, Tua still has his own limitations, and Tua sack and concussion away from the season being over basically for them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna be Buffalo. It's like Buffalo lost a lot of guys. We're gonna get into that in a minute. They're gonna have to figure some stuff out, and who knows? They probably could. Maybe they will, but like, it's still the division is Miami's to lose because everybody else got Buffalo got worse pretty much.
And it's wild because, folks, if you've ever, everybody that watched it, go watch in-season Hard Knocks and tell me that this man Ace looks just like Mike McDaniel. If he puts his glasses on, oh good God, it's crazy. That's who you should be for Halloween. That's who you should be for. You should be Mike McDaniel for Halloween.
All right. Anyways, moving on.
All right. What element does OBJ bring to this offense? He brings
another injury risk.
Oh God. I was gonna say explosiveness.
You got Tua, you got Raheem Mostert, you got Odell, you got Waddle, you got the whole pass rushing group and the defense. Jalen Ramsey's always injured at some point. I mean, what else you want me to say?
I mean, honestly, call it crazy, but like they have a 4x1 team with alternates that you got to just keep them healthy. That's really what they have. They have a whole track team that you just got to keep healthy
until one pulls a hamstring.
Yeah, literally, it's crazy. It's like and then you got to figure out how to win in cold weather too if you're this team.
And cold weather isn't a pass happy type of game.
It's really not.
That's more of a ground and pound, not a finesse run style that Miami runs.
Exactly. All right. So speaking of Tua, it's funny you mentioned Tua. Do you think Tua's done enough to earn a second contract? For me, I'm on the fence about it.
I will say this. He deserved a second contract, but not the amount that he got, if that makes sense.
Yes, that does. I agree.
Because like you watch you guys and you're like, when you look at what Daniel Jones got, right? Daniel Jones got a second contract. That man should not have gotten a second contract. You're watching him in training camp. He's been rough.
But we watch Hard Knocks and you're like, how did this man get paid? Like what? We're gonna build around Daniel Dimes. Yeah, okay. All right.
I mean, I believe on Hard Knocks they did say that the Giants tried making a Godfather offer to the Patriots for Drake May, but the Patriots said no, so.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
That's probably spiting them for Eli's 2 rings. Who knows?
And then I don't know how true that statement was that I saw on Twitter, but it was like I don't want to. He's like, look, I understand, but like, I forget. I think he said like Hawaiian Andy Dalton is the best we got right now. Somebody said that. I was like, oh God.
Oh.
And it's funny because
he's not as bad as Andy Dalton. I would say that. Tua is better than Andy Dalton.
You know what's funny is that sounds like something you would say.
I've seen Andy Dalton play. Oh my God, I never want to see that again.
It sounds that's messed up. That's literally.
I would never ever want to see Andy Dalton play for my football team ever again. I wouldn't mind if Tua played for my football team. I could never stand Andy Dalton ever again. So like if Andy Dalton was like here, Tua's like here. and Mahomes is like here.
That's a fair statement.
And like CJ Stroud is like right here, Joe Burrow's like right here, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Lamar, like all are right here. Tua is like right here. Derek Carr is like right here. Andy Dalton is like down here.
That's you being generous. Sheesh.
I'm being objective at this point.
Fairly put. Fairly put. All right. And with that, we're going to go now to the other 11-16, the team that actually closed the deal last season, but then blew it in the playoffs. At 11-6, your division champs, your returning division champs, the Buffalo Bills, who add Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Curtis Samuel, OC Joe Brady, D. Delaney. They lost Stephon Diggs, Levi Wallace, Tre'Davious. Wow, their secondary is depleted. Tre'Davious
Micah Hyde.
Yeah, and Micah Hyde.
And Jordan Poyer.
Dude.
Who literally went to Miami, so that's just even more funny.
This is going to be an interesting year for Buffalo. They drafted Keon Coleman.
Tre'Davious White signed somewhere. I forgot where he signed. I'm going to check that. You keep going.
And they also drafted Taylon Gabriel. So, come right out the gate.
Tre'Davious White went to the Rams. Huh, that's interesting.
Not a bad move at all. Are they even a
He's
threat?
had 2 rough injuries, but if he's healthy, that's a big pickup.
Is this team?
Are they even a threat anymore?
No.
No.
Nope. Not to me.
Josh Allen better enjoy his time with Haley Steinfeld because that's the only ring he's gonna ever get.
Yep. Because honestly, right now, I'm telling you now, I think Cincinnati's gonna pass this team by. I think Miami, like you stated,
Cincinnati been past that team by. What do you mean gonna pass them by? They've been past them.
I mean, injuries kind of depleted Cincinnati last year. Injuries.
That's what you mean. Okay, when you mean like that, but I mean like a healthy Cincinnati's always been better than a healthy Buffalo.
Oh yeah, I think Cincinnati's gonna pass them by. Miami's gonna pass them by. Houston's gonna pass them. I do believe Pittsburgh's gonna be a better team than these guys. I think definitely Baltimore passed them by. I think they're gonna take a step back this year. I'm feeling like this probably will be a wild card team at best. I hate to say that because I like Keon Coleman, and I hate that because his rookie year is gonna probably be spent with a brief stay in the playoffs if they even make the playoffs. But yeah, no, this team they've lost a step.
You know who Keon Coleman reminded me of now that we've mentioned it? I don't know if you have a question for him or not. But actually, you can just pull it up to the okay. Let me get before I get onto Keon Coleman. Let me say this for the threat in the AFC anymore. No, they aren't a Super Bowl threat, or they're a threat to the Chiefs. Josh Allen is this generation's Phillip Rivers. Not even close. Just mobile Phillip Rivers.
Makes sense. Number 17.
Yeah, like I said, better marry Haley Steinfeld because that's the only ring he's gonna ever get. Albeit that might be a better ring than Brittany Matthews and Taylor Swift. So who knows? Maybe he's winning in life. I don't know. Anyways, I feel bad for him though. I do like how he plays. Sometimes he's basically vanilla Jameis Winston with legs. Like objectively, like when you watch him, he looks fun to watch. But then you also have to remember in the back of your mind, he basically plays like Jameis Winston with running abilities.
It's the fact that you said a vanilla Jameis Winston. Good God. Oh my goodness.
Am I wrong though?
No,
I will say Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Curtis Samuel, Keon Coleman is a much better receiving room than whatever the hell Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, and Joshua Palmer are. I
agree. Oh yeah, they also lost Gabe Davis, I believe.
Yeah, Gabe Davis went to Jacksonville.
Yeah, man, dude, this is gonna be.
Although I will say this though, Dalton Kincaid, fantasy owners, drop that man.
Yeah.
Dalton Kincaid better put up some numbers. But you might as well pull up that next question though about Stephon. on how much they're gonna miss him. They're gonna miss him a great deal, but because his separation ability was like top tier. Now, when you
Yeah.
look at Keon Coleman, his separation skills are below average. But when I say this, I'm not worried too much about it because he reminds me a lot of Des Bryant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Terrible route running,
No.
but very good contested catch abilities.
Oh yeah. I mean, that was him at Florida State. Like he knew how to find the soft spots in coverage at Florida State. He wasn't the most physical guy, but yeah, contested catches. Knew how to find the open spaces.
High point.
Yeah, high point the ball very well, and he knew how to find the end zone. So I mean, honestly, it's like if with the right quarterback and in the right system, he can show out, and hopefully I'm rooting for him. Hopefully, he is a bright spot on what I expect to be a very disappointing Bills team this year. Hopefully, but yeah, honestly, dude, you could tell, and I think you would agree with me. Stephon was ready to get up out of Buffalo.
He'd been. I think he was ready to leave after Joe Burrow beat the brakes off of them back in 2023.
Oh yeah, dude, because it's like with a team like what they've had, when you go to the playoffs time and time and time again, it's about time you do something. Like you gotta look at it. It's like you had Tom Brady and the Bucks in one swing, go to a Super Bowl and win. You had Joe Burrow and oh my goodness, you had Joe Burrow and Kansas and Buffalo. Not Buffalo. You had Joe Burrow and Cincinnati in by year 2 get to a Super Bowl. What was it, year 2, right? 2020,
Yeah.
2020. Yeah.
21.
Yeah, it's like dude, come on. You had Stafford get shipped off to LA, make a Super Bowl in
First year.
Yeah, in his first year. Like
21.
if you're Stephon Diggs, you're like, yeah, dude, it's time that we got here and we did something. So I understand him getting.
He didn't end up in Dallas.
You said what?
I was shocked he didn't end up in Dallas.
I really wasn't. I understand. You know why? Houston's a winning product. Houston is a much more winning product than Dallas.
Okay. Recently, yes. But I mean, historically, we know Houston has a one squad.
Okay, historically, yes. But if you had to put money on one team this year
to win a Super Bowl, yeah, Houston.
No, not even to win it, just get there.
Just to win 2 playoff games, Houston. Who do you think will make it? Who? Okay. Actually, no, that's off topic. I can't do it. If I did the NFC East video, I would have asked, who do you think will make the conference finals first? The Dallas Cowboys or Joel Embiid?
Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid got benched in the Olympics. That was hilarious.
I still have more faith in him to get to the conference finals.
I have faith in neither. I think neither would ever make it. I think Embiid will retire before the Cowboys make it.
And I guess we can kind of throw out this question already because I guess we all can agree they've
lost faith in Josh Allen. I'll say this. I think Josh Allen makes it to the championship game before the Cowboys, if that makes any sense.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he's going to make it to the conference championship before GTA 6. Now you're thinking.
I'd say GTA 6 comes about before Josh Allen makes it. I give Keon Coleman a year, and then it's like, okay, maybe we got something here. The defense has to rebuild itself. They spent a lot of picks in the defensive side of the ball because they had to rebuild that whole secondary. So, like,
right.
They can make noise. I just don't think it's gonna be enough. I don't think they have enough talent to compete with Miami for the division.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, coaching matters. Miami, a couple injuries away. Buffalo can come right back. Josh Allen carries them with Kincaid and Coleman on offense. The young guys on defense step up even better than what they were last year. Kyrie Elam figures himself out.
Yeah.
They can make noise. I won't say it's all doom and gloom in Buffalo. It's just right now it's storm clouds rolling in kind of weather.
Yes. And honestly, this is what
It's
I'm
like
going
some pitch black storm clouds coming in, thunderstorms. If you're from Florida, you could picture it. Those black line storm clouds just coming in, and you're like, "Oh shit!" kind of ways. That's why, as a Buffalo fan, I feel like that's where you guys are right now. You're like, hopefully, you're hoping that bad era can stay away, while you still have some hope that you're not going to about to get poured on.
I think they're going to get poured on, but not like horribly. I think they're going to get poured on. I think their window's closed. I think Miami's about to like take the reins of this division. Quite honestly, so I'm quite frankly, I'm going to roll out like this. I think we're going to get, surprisingly, I'm going to shock you, Miami, New York, Buffalo, New England. 1 through 4.
I'll say this. Miami, I can see them winning 12-5. I can see Buffalo at 10-7. New York, I can also see maybe at 10-7. Although I do believe if there's going to be a team with 3 playoff teams, it'll be the AFC North. Potentially even 4. I'd say the AFC playoff picture would look more like you're going to get 2 AFC South teams between Houston, Indiana, or Jacksonville. Potentially even Tennessee. I think 2 of those teams will make the playoffs. I think guaranteed 2 teams are going to make it from the North, potentially even 3. I think Chiefs come out of the West, maybe the Chargers. And that leaves if there's going to be 2 teams coming out of the East or 1.
I definitely think Miami's a lock for one of the spots. But I'm going to say it now, spoiler alert, I said it on the spoiler alert, I said it on the AFC South video. Right now I think we kind of have an idea of who's going to make the playoffs in the AFC. It's just a matter of what the records, how the seeding will go. Because like I said,
if you want to do a quick seeding breakdown, I would say probably I think the Chiefs screw around and lose a couple games and they don't get home field. But I would say, let's see, Miami sneaks away with the 1 seed off of some shenanigans. If they don't get hurt, Miami is either the 1 or 2 seed because they were going to be the 1 seed until they got hurt. So either Miami or Cincinnati is going to be the 1 seed maybe, or Baltimore. Then you're going to have Kansas City 2. Houston's going to be 3. And then you're going to have whoever is between whoever's that 1 team that didn't win the 1 seed, probably the 4. Then you're going to have for your wild cards, they're going to be probably either Cincinnati or Baltimore, for sure. Okay. You're going to definitely have one of maybe potentially the Browns or the Steelers.
Okay.
And then that leads to the last spot where it's going to be either Buffalo, New York, or LA. Or Indianapolis. I think that 6th seed will be either Cleveland, Indiana, or Pittsburgh. And the 7th seed will be either Buffalo, LA, Indiana, Buffalo, LA, or the Jets. Or the Jaguars.
Yeah. No, I could see it happening like that. I can see it happening like that. Like I said, it's all a matter of who can win what and who's hot by Christmas and who's not, quite honestly. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think we're both in agreement that I think Miami's running away with this division. Or they should run away with this division this year. They should,
but I wouldn't rule out Buffalo stealing it because Miami chokes like always. And why they're called the Flippers. Even though they should be the 1 seed, but most likely or not, it'll probably be like the Ravens or somebody.
Yeah. And folks, that's going to do it for us with this AFC East preseason preview video. We hope you've enjoyed as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. And as always, don't forget to stay on the lookout for more of these videos.
I think this is the
Before we go,
last
Ace, you got
one.
anything?
I think this might be the last
South.
video. Which one? Let me the last one.
AFC South is the last one.
Ooh. Anyways, so with that being said, guys, I hope everybody enjoyed these videos. I hope every team you're a fan of has the best season that they can have. Who knows? Maybe New England shocks people and has a Houston type run with Drake May. You never know. Maybe Buffalo Keon Coleman is the second coming of Jerry. Well, I doubt he's Jerry Rice because his route running's not great. But I'm trying to think of a guy. Oh, maybe Randy Moss. Maybe.
Hey, never know.
Never know. Keon Coleman might be the next coming of Randy Moss. Go crazy. Carries Buffalo to that 1 seed. Josh Allen goes MVP mode. Best case scenarios there. New York. Aaron Rodgers stays healthy. Garrett Wilson teams up with Devontae Adams in midseason. Jets go on a run. Best case. Dolphins. Hopefully y'all stay healthy. Wish everybody the best of luck this season. Stay safe. Stay blessed. JPeeps, wrap it up and let's get out of here.
Good night, folks. Peace.